I am back with another what sold from last week video. I had another pretty good week. I am still choosing to calculate the same way that I did the week before. I know you guys had a lot of comments about that. Some of you were like, you know what, we just actually liked it the more simpler way when there was less numbers on the page. And then some of you were like, yeah, thank you for that breakdown because I was wondering that. So I guess let me know down in the comments below if you guys do have opinions or not, if you want me to go back to the old way, which was basically not breaking down, not taking out the shipping cost so that you could see just the item item value for how much it sold for. Let me know down below. I did do a bit more of a breakdown and I did keep it this way for this video, but if you guys don't like it, I only did that because I was getting a lot of comments that were like, you're not taking out your shipping. Your gross sales include your shipping and that's not how much the item sold for. So I wanted to be transparent and clear about what things were actually going for. But if you guys want it simpler, if you want to go back to the old way, I'm totally here for it. Just let me know down in the comments below and I'll go with whatever the majority of you say. Because ultimately, I'm here to help you. It makes no difference to me either way. But let's dive into those solds. I'm going to show you guys how much we sold last week, both gross and some breakdowns of numbers, costs, and expenses. Then we'll dive into some individual items that you might want to look for while you are out at your local thrift store. All right, so everything that we're looking at happened between May 7th through May 13th. That is a Sunday through a Saturday. That is how I calculate my weeks. Like I said before, I am going to just do it the way I did last week, but please let me know down in the comments which way you guys prefer, and then we'll just go with the majority. But in total, I sold 249 items for gross item sales, meaning the amount just the item sold for, $6,452.83. Average sale price was $25.91. Estimated cost of goods based on an average buy cost was $1,245, making an estimated gross profit of $4,025.85. In total, I sold 128 items on eBay, and on Poshmark I sold 121. So definitely like almost half and half for eBay and Poshmark, which is nice to see, because I don't want any one platform to, I guess, just be the one left behind. There's no point of having a platform if it only produces a little bit. So I'm glad to see that in general, both platforms are doing well. On eBay, my gross sales after shipping costs, meaning just the item gross sales, were $3,755.83, and on Poshmark, gross sales for the items were $2,697. We are going to dive into the sales. I'm super excited to show you guys some of these. I definitely have hopefully some new brands or styles for you guys. With that being said, I did have to change things up a little bit. I used to, for eBay, leave the date in which we listed it up top. Now there are, I can kind of show you, there are promoted listings there now. So I can't show you all of that information. It just wouldn't be feasible. But I just, got a lot of promoted listings. So there's a bunch of people's promoted listings above that, which is why I can't show you the date, but just know that almost everything sold within 90 days, and if otherwise I will let you know, but most of them sold within just a couple of weeks because I try to pull the better of the sales, if that makes sense. So first one is a Lilly Pulitzer item. Last week I showed a lot of Lilly Pulitzer. I won't be doing that this week, but I did want to show you, for anyone watching, if you're new to reselling, this can be a fantastic brand to pick up, especially during this time of the year. This one was kind of different for Lilly Pulitzer. It is just a plaid linen button-up shirt. It was called the Sea View shirt. We paid around $6 for it. It ended up selling for our full asking price of $54.88. Next up is an Eileen Fisher item. A lot of people are hit or miss with this. I pick up everything Eileen Fisher. It sells really well for us, especially in the larger sizes. This is an Eileen Fisher women's size extra large 100% silk tapered pants. So pretty much hit everything with this. I mean, it's even got pockets. So Definitely a fantastic pickup. We paid just over $5 for it, and it did sell for our full asking price of $49.93. And if you're new to reselling, in my opinion, this is a fantastic brand to pick up. If you want to stick to the ones that are going to sell quickly, then definitely focus on factor stacking, which is the act of combining multiple sellable factors into one item. So in this case, it is a good brand, it is a nice material, and it is a larger size. All right, this one I just learned about because this was sent to us from one of my suppliers, and this is a brand I had never heard of before. It is Seeger, and I guess this brand is actually sold on the Huckberry website. I'm not going to go into Huckberry. You guys know I talk about that website a lot. Fantastic brand to learn, or fantastic website to learn men's brands that sell. And so I'll continue looking for this. And this one actually was sent to me new with tags. And apparently it is a Western brand. So I'm not sure what their regular pieces look like. I've got a feeling this is kind of like a one-off for them. If it's a Western brand, they probably don't sell a lot of these baseball looking shirts. They probably sell other stuff, but I'm going to keep an eye out for it in general. We paid just over $5 for this, and it did sell for our full asking price of $49.88. So really great profits on that. Next up is something new I wanted to show you guys. I'm not sure that I've shared this before, but Melissa McCarthy is a great plus size brand to pick up. You do want to make sure it is plus size. Melissa McCarthy in collaboration with the 7-7 jeans. Not typically a brand I would pick up, but when it's the plus size Melissa McCarthy line, I've noticed it has a really great sell-through rate. This was a dress by that brand. I've also sold the tops and also the jeans, and they tend to perform really well. But this was a new with tags 2X maxi dress. We picked it up for around $6, and it did sell for a full asking price of $44.88. All right, next up is kind of an artsy brand. I haven't talked about this a lot. You guys know I like kind of mature brands because not a lot of resellers go after the mature brands, but I do because I know that they sell really well. But another category that I tend to look for kind of within that realm are the artwear and artsy looking stuff. Really big following for that, and it kind of also falls under the mature line. So this is Adventures de Toile. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a very artsy cardigan, and anytime I see anything wacky like this, I always look it up because people pay really good money for the artsy stuff. There's definitely a following, and people pay more the wackier it is, in my opinion. So if you're passing on this stuff, I would definitely do a comp on it before you leave it behind. This was a fantastic sale. Lots of really good features with this. We paid around $5. We listed it for $39.88, and it sold for our full asking price. And this would have been something that, as a newer reseller, I would have left behind or not even looked at just because of how wacky it was. And I would have thought, nobody's going to wear that. But there's a huge following for this stuff, and there's some really cool pieces out there, so keep your eye out. Next up is a really great women's brand of jeans to look for. This is Judy Blue. The larger the size, the better. This is definitely the case for this one, and also the larger the size, the more expensively you can price it. So this is a 24W. It is also a slim boot cut. I paid about $9 for it, so paid up for it, and we listed it for around $45. It sold on an offer to Watcher for $38.20. And this one sold within a month too, so really great return on investment, even though we paid up a little. Here's another Eileen Fisher pant. This one's a size medium. It is also a 100% silk cream colored pant. Fantastic factor stacking again, although not a very large size. We picked this up for $5.50, and it did sell for our full asking price very quickly at $54.88. So, oh my God, we have somebody's foot in there. There were a couple sales that you guys are going to see here where I'm like, what were we thinking on these cover photos? But they were such great items that they sold anyways. It goes to show. So here is a great brand to pick up. again, if you want to not sit on anything, make sure to factor stack. All right, next up is a pair of shoes. Slowed down a lot recently on shoes. I realized that we were picking up, I don't know, just not as good condition as we should have been. And so we've been letting a lot of those shoes sell off, and I can't show you guys right now. But I have like 6 shoe racks, and they were like overflowing for a while. And I really stopped and thought about shoes and narrowed down what we wanted to get, and basically decided to only pick up things in excellent condition with very few exceptions. And since then, things have sold off and we're no longer overflowing on the shoe shelves. So we're being very picky on what we pick up in shoes, trying to really focus on good sales, because it's a lot of work if you pick up shoes that need cleaning. Like it's too much work. So I think this is definitely a brand that you can look for. It is Merrell, and this brand is a great athletic wear, like outdoorsy shoe. This one definitely had some wear throughout. This one has been sitting, which is why, I stopped and looked and said, something's got to give. So this one did have some condition issues, but in general, Merrell can be a great outdoorsy wear brand to pick up, especially during spring and summer. People are hiking. Because of the condition, we listed it a little bit lower. We paid $2. We listed it for around $35. It did take several months to sell, I believe, due to condition. It ended up selling on an offer to Watcher for $29.68. Still a great return on investment. And if I find great condition Merrell shoes in the future, I'll definitely be picking those up. All right, this is a brand that I have been really picky with lately. It is Madewell. So what I try to do with Madewell is I try to focus on their newer styles. And if you go to the tags on the inside, you guys will easily see. So the first number where it says style number, right underneath that is your style number. You can look that up on Google to figure out the exact style name. Makes it super easy to do a comp. And then right underneath that where it says SB20, that means it was made or released in spring of 2020. And so I've actually been keeping an eye on this to make sure I'm picking up styles that are pretty recent. That's, not always to say everything that was released in the last few years is going to be valuable, but it is a good indicator to me that it might be worth picking up. I've also been trying to focus on larger sizes and, if I can, other factors. In this case, this has a lot going for it. It was a pretty recent style. It is linen, it's a dress, a more substantial piece, and it's a size large. So great example of factor stacking. We paid about $5 for this, listed it for $39.88. It did sell for full asking price, and this one was also not a midi or maxi length dress. It was just a mini, but there were a lot of other factors going for it that helped it to sell. Next up is something I did sit on for a little bit because I think I priced it too high originally, but I wanted to show you guys this because this is a style that I'm noticing is trending, and it is basically a skirt with leggings underneath. Now, I had a hard time when I first came across one of these of like, okay, what do I search to do a comp? And I learned if I looked up skirt leggings, I could pretty easily find for whatever brand I had. I've sold quite a bit of this recently. I have sold, I think, some All Saints ones. I think I might have found maybe a Rag & Bone one. It was one of those two. And then as well as some other common athletic wear brands, but they seem to be a pretty good trending style right now. So I wanted to show you guys these. This is just an Athleta size large. It was called the A-Game 2-in-1 crop. I found these new with tags. We listed it, I think, for around $50 and then started dropping the price on them because they were sitting. Originally paid about $10 for them. They ended up sitting and selling on an offer for $36. So definitely made money on it. But looking back, if I would have priced correctly in the first place, they probably would have sold a lot quicker. But definitely a style. If you come across it, I would say definitely give it a comp. Next up is a pair of men's jeans. I have sold the crap out of this particular style, all for about $35. This is Adriano Goldschmied men's The Protege style, and I pick up all of these as long as they're in great condition, and I list them for $35 and they sell really quickly. We paid $6.99 for these, and they did sell for a full asking price of $34.88. Adriano Goldschmied in general, I try to stick to the men's. The women's are very hit or miss depending on the style, but maybe still worth looking up. All right, next up is a bolo that I'm not sure I've shared before. It is Champion in collaboration with Todd Snyder, and it seems like this collaboration performs extremely well in just about anything, so I am on the hunt for this. This one was sent to me by one of our suppliers for just over $5, and we listed this zip sweatshirt for $35-ish. It ended up selling on an offer to watcher for $29.69, but there's like sweatpants, there's all kinds of things, but just looking at the exterior of it, it usually doesn't say Todd Snyder until you actually look at the brand label. So I feel like I've probably passed on a lot of these just because I saw it was Champion and moved on and didn't look at the tag, but I'll be paying more attention in the future. Next up is a style I wanted to share with you. It is men's like baggy Y2K jeans. These are super in right now, and just about any brand. This is South Pole. This is not a brand I pick up like ever. But the baggy jeans in this brand can be a really good bread and butter right now. I do think that you need to include the word baggy in your title and possibly even Y2K. We did not put that in ours, but we did use the word vintage. We paid up for these. We paid $6.49. We listed them for $35, and it did sell for our full asking price. So definitely keep your eye out for that. Some other brands are like the Jinko jeans. Those are definitely going to fetch a much higher profit. But if you want to look for some bread and butter Y2K men's jeans, this look where they're super baggy, definitely in right now. All right, next up is one of my new favorite men's athletic wear brands to sell. It is Public Rec. There's not a lot of branding with Public Rec, so you have to be very cautious to look usually on the inside lining. It would be easy to pass over, but the stuff sells for really good money. It has a really great following. This and Vuori, I think, are starting to take over the athletic wear market and like phasing out Lululemon, in my opinion. So I'm on the hunt for these. They perform extremely well. I paid just over $5 for this. We listed it for $34.94. It sold within just a couple of weeks for our full asking price. And any kind of pre-owned shirt, in my opinion, that goes for $35 is definitely worth getting. Next up is more of a winter item, but I have been selling a lot of cashmere still. And that's not to say that I'm picking up every cashmere piece, but I'm definitely still comping stuff, and some of it is performing well. This is a Garnet Hill cashmere sweater. This is an oversized green color. It was kind of an interesting green. I think that's honestly what helped to sell it. We paid just over $5 for it, listed it for $34.88. It did sell for our full asking price. This is a good example of just a category to be on the lookout for. They are hiking pants or like nylon outdoor pants. These are the Eddie Bauer First Ascent. That's what this little A is their First Ascent line. Men's hiking pants. And pretty much not any brand, but most of your well-known outdoor wear brands, anything nylon hiking pant or nylon hiking shorts are performing pretty well right now. Just because, again, just like those Maros, people are getting outside. So a category that you might want to look for, but definitely do your comps. I paid $4.99 for these. We listed for $34.88. They sold on an offer to watcher for $29.65. Here's another Lily Pulitzer piece. This one was new with tags. This is a laser cut daisy dress and retailed for $198. Even though it's an extra small, we're definitely going to get that. We paid very high for this, which is why I wanted to share this with you. We paid $20 for this, but it was new with tags, and we did a comp on the specific size, and it was performing well. We listed for around $80. It did sell for our full asking price. It did take a few months to sell, but 20 into 80 is a fantastic profit. And these are the kind of items when it's like, you know, you do your comps and it's a guaranteed sale. You look up everything, including the size, and you still have a 100% sell-through rates. That's when I feel comfortable paying that much for an item. 20 into 80, great return on investment there. Okay, next up is a newer brand to me. I was really happy to come across this. I've never heard of it. It is Francis Valentine. Only reason I looked it up because it was very thick, heavily embroidered, and it was pretty gorgeous. Whenever a brand takes the time to not only embroider the front, but also the sleeves and along the back, like you can just tell a lot of work was put into this. See how the embroidered comes across the back? That's a pretty good indicator that it is probably a higher end brand just because of the amount of work that went into it. So this is a brand I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for in the future. Again, first time finding it. We paid $4.99 for it. I was pleasantly surprised when I did comps. I thought I would pick this up regardless just for style and maybe list it for like $25. But after I did the comps, I was glad that I looked everything up because they were going for really, really good money. I priced kind of high on this. I went for $74.88, which was, in my opinion, on the higher tier of where these were going for. I saw a lot going for $50, but I felt like mine had a lot more embroidery, and not that it was rare, but was more rare than some of the other pieces. I didn't see a lot of this style. And I'm glad I priced high because it ended up selling extremely quickly for my full asking price. So 5 into 75, you cannot beat that. Next up is a robe. I came across a lot of robes a couple of months ago, and they were all brands that I think were sold on the Huckberry site. This one is Upstate, and the only reason I looked at them is because they had this waffle texture to them. This is very popular texture right now. I've sold towels with this texture. I have sold robes with this texture, pants, just a very popular texture right now. And if you see anything like this in robes, I would definitely give it a comp because all of the waffly ones I picked up, not only in this brand, but other brands have since sold. This is like the last one, I think. The one that sold the least best, but all the other ones seem to sell within a couple of weeks. So Upstate men's waffle knit robe, I paid up for all of these. I paid $13 for each, and we listed them all for about $65. This one ended up selling on an offer to watcher after a couple of months for $55.18. So 13 into 55, awesome profits on that. Next up is a brand that I just recently learned about. It is Reiss, R-E-I-S-S. This is a very high-end brand. When I do comps on this, there's not a lot of information on eBay, and sometimes you kind of just have to make up a price, in my opinion. But the good thing about this is on their tags, not their new with tags, but on their inside tags, it usually has the style name, so it makes it super easy to look up. This was a really pretty cotton silk top. It was also a size 12, and it was new with tags. We listed this for about $60 or best offer just because we weren't sure what to price it for. We paid $5.99. It ended up selling for $50, and it was a pretty quick sale. This is a brand that was sent to me. I've never come across this brand in my region, but if you guys have this in your region, I would definitely get it. It's Schaefer Outfitters, and it seems like a really fantastic, like westerny kind of brand, and some of the stuff was going for really, really good money. I paid just over $5 for this. We listed for about $50. It's just like a khaki women's vest. And it ended up selling for my full asking price of $49.88. Moving on to some Poshmark sales. I have been having a lot of full price Poshmark sales, so I'm excited to share those with you. The first one is this Everlane women's utility pants. I love Everlane, but unfortunately not all of the styles are performing well. So Instead of the regular skinny jeans, I try to look for wide leg or boyfriend, something other than the skinny, and those are the items that seem to perform well. These are the Everlane Utility Barrel Pants. They were a size 00, which is very small, but this style is very popular. And I'm glad I picked them up because they sold really quickly. We paid just over $5 for them. They sold on Poshmark for $38. Which is a really great return on investment, especially for a size 00. Next up is a pair of Paige jeans. I'm not sure if you guys have watched the Thrift with me, but I pass on this brand pretty much all the time. But the men's ones are where it's at, and I hardly ever come across Paige men's jeans, but when I do, I look it up. These are called the Paige Federal jeans. They have a really good sell-through rate, and these were a size 32. We paid $4 for them. They sold for $40. So really great return on investment. And again, women's, some of their styles do okay, but if you come across any men's ones, definitely worth looking into because most of them sell really quickly. This was a lower price sale, but I just wanted to share it with you. This is a brand I come across all the time. It's Coldwater Creek. And if I can factor stack enough, I can sell for good money. This is a 2X Coldwater Creek embroidered top, and we really should have steamed this, but it still sold pretty quickly. We paid $4. It ended up selling for $20, and that was strictly due to factor stacking. So if you're at the bins or you come across this on sale, Coldwater Creek plus sizes seem to be a good bread and butter, especially if you can factor stack. Here's another Madewell piece. Again, this is a larger size. This is a mustard yellow as well, which I find performs really well in Madewell. We paid just over $5. It ended up selling for $25 on Posh. Here's another bread and butter plus size brand that I've been getting. It's Crown and Ivy. This is a Crown and Ivy 2X gingham plaid cardigan. We paid $4.89. It sold for $21. This is a brand I pick up in just about everything. It is packed organic cotton pieces. Really well-known brand, really good following right now. This is like a plaid flannelly shirt, and it's still sold in spring. Paid just over $5 for it. It sold for $25. This is a newer brand to me that I wanted to share with you guys. I learned about this from actually a couple of my sourcers. I was not familiar with this brand, but they've been picking it up. It is Habitat. And they seem to make a lot of like linen login looky pieces, and depending on what you have, I do think you need a factor stack, but they seem to perform really well. Not 100% sell-through rate, again, got a factor stack, but seems to be worth looking into, especially in plus sizes. So Habitat, this one is I think it might be linen, kind of login look, artsy, art to wear. Button up top. We paid $4.49. It sold for $28 on Posh. Next up is a By Anthropologie piece. This is their house line. A lot of people skip this line just because it is their house line and it is a lower priced item, but pretty much any Anthropologie piece, even their house line, if it is a longer length dress or it is a jumpsuit, I pick it up regardless because it always sells for about $30 and up for me. We paid just over $5 for this. We listed for $35 and accepted an offer of $27 on this By Anthropologie jumpsuit. Next up is Affliction. I pick up Affliction, men's Affliction all day long. It still performs really well for me. I can usually only get about $25 for it, sometimes closer to $30 if I have something special. This one actually was special. It was, I'm not even going to pretend like I know how to pronounce this, but it was the Horiyoshi Heroes and Demons line. And this line is more popular than just their regular stuff. Here it is here. I think we listed this for $35 over on eBay. It ended up selling on an offer for $28 on Poshmark. I had been sitting on this. I do think I could have held out and gotten closer to that $35, but still happy with the profits on that. Again, used t-shirts. If I can get $25 and up, I am super happy with it. They're so easy to list. Next up is an outdoorsy wear brand I thought I would share with you that's been performing well for me. It is REI Co-op. This is the size extra, extra large men's rain jacket. I picked this up for $11. It sold for $38 on Posh. So decent return on investment there. I probably could have held out for closer to 50, but I am here to move items, so I am accepting offers. Kind of an interesting sale here. These are a pair of Van shoes, but they're the like slip-on rubbery ones, kind of like think Crocs material. I've seen a lot of brands doing this lately. Vans, Nike, obviously Crocs are doing it, but it seems to be a trend with the rubber slip-on shoes. So keeping my eye out for these. They're super easy to clean and to list. Just take a wet wipe them down, and you're good to go. I paid $6 for these. We sold them for $29 on Poshmark. Here's another outdoorsy wear brand I would definitely keep your eye out for. It is Cool, Kuhl. I sell the crap out of this brand as well. Men's, women's, doesn't matter. I usually get everything. These are called the men's silencer pants. And again, with the nylon kind of hiking pants that are doing well right now. Paid just over $5. We sold them for $46 on Poshmark, which is a great return on investment. So definitely want to keep your eye out for that. Here's another shoe brand that performs well for us. This is Dansko. These ones were in really great condition. This is a more recent pickup. These are called the Allison clogs. Danskos are known for comfort shoes. I think they would fall under more of like a mature brand. They do make some more modern, stylish shoes, which tend to perform better for me. But if I find them in great condition, regardless of style, I usually get them. We paid $6 for these. They sold for $35 pretty quickly on Posh. Next up is a style that I've been looking for. In this case, brand didn't necessarily matter, but these pull-on flare pants seem to be performing really well. It's a category that I am on the hunt for. These ones were Princess Polly, and they were new with tags, which is the main reason I got them. I hardly ever pick up Princess Polly. It just does not perform well for me in general, but this was a style that I was able to look up. And so I got them. I paid $4.89 for these. They sold for $27 on Posh. Here is another pair of the South Pole baggy jeans. These are not the same ones as before. These are basically the same pair, just a different size. But again, with the baggy jeans, South Pole can be a great bread and butter. So I wanted to share that with you. We paid $6.49 for these, and they sold for $30 on Posh. Next up is another outdoor wear brand that you might want to look for. This is a golf wear brand, and this is the Dry Joy Hydrolite jacket, and FJ stands for FootJoy, so sometimes you'll just see FJ. This brand performs extremely well for me, especially in spring and summer, so anything substantial I'm definitely getting. We paid $8.99 for this, and it sold for $50 on Posh. This is a designer brand that I pick up in just about anything, but I do know that I'm usually going to sit on it. It is Tory Burch. This is a women's size 12 silk sequin top. Really gorgeous, but in most cases, Tory Burch sits longer than 30 days for me, which was the case with this one. We paid $4.89 for it. It ended up selling probably 5 months later for $41 on Poshmark. Next up is an Aritzia piece. This is Wilfred. Wilfred by Aritzia. This is an extra small dress, but we still got it based on style. A very athletic wear looking dress, kind of like a preppy tennis dress. Square neck, had the wrap over. This is a very popular style right now. We paid just over $5 for it and sold it for $28. This is also a category I've been getting a lot of, and it's been performing super well. I mean, I've probably made thousands of dollars this month on just this brand alone in blazers. It is Ralph Lauren, and pretty common to come across, at least in my area. This is a Ralph Lauren men's wool silk cashmere blazer. I've gotten as little as $40 for these if they are like a polyester. And I've gotten as much as $75 for them if they're linen. So I do think that material matters a little bit, but regardless, I can usually pick these up at a low enough cost to justify a minimum of $40 for them. Definitely look for condition, and I also make sure that the size tag is there, just so it's easy to list. So really great sale on this. I paid $6 for it, which is typical for blazers in my Goodwills, and it sold for $59. So great return on investment. If you're scared of blazers, this is definitely one that you can pick up. I would just make sure that it's in great condition and the size tag is there. Next up is a Bowden item. Bowden dresses I'm picking up a lot of right now. This is definitely a brand you can rely on in dresses during this time of the year. And you can also really easily look up the style. If you go to their tag, this W number, if you search that on Google, it'll pop up what it is. This is called the Phoebe dress. It was just a size 4, but Bowden dresses in just about any size perform really well for me. We picked this up for $4.89. It sold for $33 on Poshmark. Here's another example of a terrible cover photo. You can see where we painted the wall. We got the outlet in it, but it didn't matter because this is a very popular size in this brand. So this is a Torrid size 5. Anything 4 and 5 in Torrid, I just go ahead and pick up. They have a really high sell-through rate. This is a Torrid women's 5X maxi dress. We picked this up for just over $5, and it sold for $34 on Posh. This is something I paid up for and listed too high originally, and it has sat. I've since dropped the price, and it finally sold, and I did make a lot of money on it, but still, I should not have priced it for as high as I did. This is a great brand to look for. I pick up everything in this brand. It is Faherty or Faherty. You guys have all told me how to pronounce it. I've honestly heard multiple ways, but here's the brand. I would definitely get it in both men's and women's. It retails for quite a bit, and it seems to have a really good following. This is an organic cotton women's sweater blazer. I picked this up for just $4. I originally listed it very high, I think like $95, and that was too much. And the only reason I priced it that high was because I couldn't find anything like it at the time that I was doing a comp. It has sat, and every month I have dropped the price on it, and we ended up selling it for $50, which is about half of what I originally listed it for. But $4 into $50, you can't beat that. That is a great return on investment, but a little less than there on pricing too high. Here's another Everlane item. Again, this is also a small size 0, but these are the wide leg crop jeans, and that is why we got them. I do not remember what we paid for these. I forgot to write it down. I would say we paid at most $8 for them. They sold for $29 on Poshmark. Here's another Habitat top. This one's an extra small, and I almost left it behind at the thrift store, but it was super like artsy looking, and for that reason I decided to get it. It was also linen. I'm glad I did pick it up because it did sell really quickly. We paid $4.99 for it. It sold for $25. This was a very interesting sale, and I'll probably never find something like this again. It is a Cirque du Soleil women's top, and the reason I looked at this was because it was super artsy, and it was really cool. It was asymmetric, kind of had a wrap look to it, multi color patterns to it, mixed prints. These seem to have a really good following. Like I said, I'll probably never find it again, but if you guys find it, I think it's definitely worth getting. We paid $4.89. It sold for $30. Sold for $30. This one was also a surprising sale. This is Vertigo Paris. Guys, these photos, look, we didn't even take the Goodwill tab off of it. I'm dying inside right now. Okay. This is a Vertigo women's pair of sweatpants. Now, this brand, in my opinion, I would not commit to memory. The only reason I looked these up is because they looked very Y2K to me. They were low rise. They were like a boot cut, kind of wide leg flare kind of sweatpants, and they had this like embellishment to it, very Y2K-esque. I did a comp on this. in this specific brand and surprisingly had a really great sell-through rate. I paid $4.99 for them and we sold them for $40 on Poshmark. And this is a brand that I never get, but just because of the style, this really has a following. So I would keep your eye out for any like super embellished sweatpants and definitely give them a look up. Okay, 2 more items to go. This is a category that I am on the hunt for right now. They are Hawaiian shirts in both men's and women's. There's definitely a lot of them out there. A lot of brands make Hawaiian shirts and probably 75% of them aren't good, but there are some that are worth looking into. We only picked this up because it was Nuva Tags. It is a Kahala women's Nuva Tags Hawaiian shirt. And we picked this up for just over $5. We listed it for $45. It sold for $38 on Poshmark. So there can be some really great returns on investments with Hawaiian shirts. And lastly, kind of more of a bread and butter, but I wanted to share this one with you because it was sleeveless and I hardly ever pick up sleeveless tops. This is a J. Jill plus size 2X gauzy tank top. And it sold for $27, which is a lot for a tank top. We paid just over $5 for it, flipped it into $27. It had a lot of factor stacking to it, which is the reason it sold. But just wanted to give you an example of, something that could sell for quite a bit if you had the right factors. All right, guys, so that's it for what sold last week. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. Don't forget to drop a comment down below if you have a preference of the spreadsheet that I show in the beginning. But otherwise, I'm going to get off here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to be on next week doing another what sold video. So if you are not already and you would like to be, don't forget to subscribe down below and hit the notification bell. If you like these kind of videos and you do that, you'll be notified every single time I post this content. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.